Okay, so today is the day that the BMW 760 Li finally gets cleaned, and we are going to be giving this car a good, thorough, deep clean. Now when I say a deep clean, I don't just mean a rinse and a shampoo. I mean we are going to get this thing up in the air, take all of the wheels off, remove wheel arch liners, under trays, and really see what kind of condition this car is in. Now in terms of the paintwork, obviously this car is not going to be perfect. It is 18 years old, but on the whole it is in pretty good condition. You know, there is the odd scrape here and there, you know, on the bumpers, wings, you know, the odd dent and scratch on a door, but like I said, on the whole this car really isn't in too bad condition on the surface. Now when we get this thing up in the air and we take a look underneath, then it may be a completely different story, but that is why we're gonna, you know, just completely tear this thing apart and really see what it is saying underneath. Now the wheels on this thing, I don't think I'm going to pay too much attention to. I mean this one right here, this one isn't too bad at all. This one should clean up pretty well, but if we take a look at some of them, particularly on the rear, we can see that, you know, this has probably had a bad paint job at some point in the past. It's all flaking off. So we will be giving it a good clean up, but this thing, you know, this wheel is not going to look perfect by any means, but I'm sure it's going to look a damn sight better once we're done. Okay then, without further ado, let's get this thing up in the air and let's get cracking. Now before I do get this thing up in the air, I am going to go ahead and crack all of the wheel bolts, because I have no idea when these wheels will last off, so there's a good chance that they'll be massively over torqued. The good thing though is that we don't have any locking wheel bolts, because when they get to this age they tend to always round off. Not too bad actually. Not too bad at all. So the car is now up in the air, the wheels are ready to come off. I've already removed the engine under tray as well, because I am going to lift up the bonnet and do a full engine bay clean at the same time as well. Now looking underneath, I can see we have some kind of leak. Now I think it's either from the power steering pump, which is this one here, or it's from the anti-roll bar. Obviously this has the dynamic drive, so this has fluid in this pump here, but yeah, you can see it looks very wet around here, so this may be something that needs some attention at some point. But yeah, the rest of the engine looks pretty good. I'll probably remove the sump guard as well, just so I can see at the back of the engine, see if we have any oil leaks or anything. But yeah, this is all going to get cleaned up just so we can try and identify any leaks. So with all of the wheels now removed, first impression of the wheel arches, really doesn't look too bad underneath here. You know, suspension components all look pretty solid. Brakes have got plenty of life left on them. I guess we really won't know, you know, if there's any real rust issues until we remove the wheel arch liner, so that's the next thing to do. Well, that was a bit of a fail. Scratch the idea of removing the wheel arch liners. Managed to get some of the screws, these just, you know, 8mm screws, managed to get a few of them out relatively easy, but then a bunch of them just started rounding, like this one here, as you can see. It's very, very rusty. I think these are going to need drilling out, or just, you know, having the head cut off and then just removing it and then replacing with some new ones. Obviously I'm not going to do that today, so I'm going to leave the wheel arch liners where they are and just clean up what I can. You know, with the car up in the air, with the wheels removed, you can get to a fair amount of stuff, so we can give the you know, suspension components a good clean, and yeah, mainly the underneath the engine bay. That's what we really want to clean, just so we can try and spot any leaks. But yeah, wheel arch liners are staying in place. Okay, so let's get this thing cleaned then, and I'm going to start with the engine bay. If you have a look at the engine bay, it is filthy. It's probably never ever been cleaned. I'm going to start with this just so it has the, you know, maximum drying time. I have disconnected the battery, don't worry. But before we get started you know, with the pressure washer, I am going to try my best to remove all of the leaves, because yeah, we don't want that blowing around. But yeah, let's get cracking. Now I am going to remove what engine covers I can. So this one here in the middle, this one here at the front, and we also have this one, which is held in by 4 T25 screws, which gives you access to absolutely nothing, but we'll remove it anyway. Okay, so here's how the engine bay is currently looking. As you can see, much better now. You know, I'm not going for perfection here. There is a lot of areas that I can't necessarily get to. We'll get to at a later date, like for example underneath the cabin air filter boxes. I'll probably clean it all underneath there once I swap out the cabin filters. But yeah, on a whole, you know, looking much better now. I'm going to just let that dry on its own. In the meantime, I'm going to focus on the wheel arches. Guys, let me just show you this. It's so cold out that the degreaser that I've just sprayed on the engine bay has obviously ran down onto the wings. You can see it's actually freezing. Now that's ice now. This degreaser, yeah, that's solid. Wow, yeah, it's definitely cold out. And there we are then, that is the wheel arches looking much better. It's time to start on the exterior now. I'm just going to give everything a good rinse down just to get any loose dirt and debris off. Then I'm going to give the entire car a snow foam, rinse all that off, and then I'm going to do a shampoo and then dry the whole thing. So, little update then, the car has been rinsed, it's been snow foamed, I've rinsed all that off, and now have ready 2 buckets. One is just regular cold water just to rinse off the mitt, the other has hot water and shampoo mix in. This is what I've done with the wheels. As you can see, they are not looking too bad from a distance, but if you get up close you can just see how much the paint is flaking off. So I'm not going to go too far with these. Realistically, these need a good refurbishment. I'm not too sure whether or not I'm going to do that or not, or just replace the wheels entirely. But yeah, this is as far as I want to go really with the wheels. But yeah, they do look quite a bit better. But yeah, that is pretty much the wheels now done. But yeah, let's get started on the final wash. Okay, so I've now dried the car and this is pretty much the finished product. Looking a lot better now, so much cleaner. Again, wheel arches, that's all been degreased and cleaned. And here is the engine bay. I gave these two covers a good clean. Oh, still need to reinstall this front one as well. But yeah, engine bay looking much better. Again, wasn't going for perfection. I'll be able to gain access to, you know, some areas that I've missed once I remove like the air box and that, when I do the air filters. The cabin air filter boxes as well, I'll be removing them. But yeah, looking much better. Alright, let's get these wheels back on and then let's get the car back on the ground. Oh, almost forgot, I've got to reinstall these undertrays as well. This is the front one and then this is the sump guard. Let me just show you what it looks like underneath now as well, after that's all been cleaned. Looking much nicer under here. Like I said, pretty sure the anti-roll bar has a slight leak on it. It's a pretty common problem. I will address that at a later date, but it's nice to know that everything is nice and clean and dry for now, so that we can identify any leaks in the future. And there we go then. This is the finished product. As you can see, car is now back on the ground. I've torqued all of the wheel bolts up to 140 Newton meters. Let's have a quick look round. Looking very clean and presentable now. Doesn't look too bad really, does it, for an 18-year-old car? Again, like I said, the wheels, they really are just shot. You know, they do need a refurb, but I more than likely will be replacing these wheels out for some nicer ones anyway. But yeah, bodywork has came up pretty nice. And the door shuts as well, they've came up like new. Just ignore the interior, that'll come at a later date, but the door shuts, they're looking very nice. And then we'll have a look in the engine bay, of course. Look at that. Much better. Okay then, so that is the deep clean done on the BMW 760 Li. It looks so much better now. It's really made a massive difference. Now, if you guys would like to see me do the same on the interior, you know, just completely strip down and remove all of the interior and give it a good thorough detail, then do let me know. If this video gets 100 likes, then I will go ahead and make that video for you guys. But of course, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please remember to give a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I will see you all in that next one. Peace!